This stretch is for your psoas and iliacus. And for your psoas and iliacus, these are your hip flexor muscles, which when you sit a lot of times will end up getting tight over time. So you got to loosen them up. So to loosen them up, you're going to need a bench. And on the bench, you're going to drop down to this position. Let me show this to the other side. Drop down to this position and let the leg, hold yourself up with your arms by the way, let the hip sink down into the bench. You want this to sink straight down. And you're going to almost be trying to aim for a 90-degree angle between your spine and your hips as much as you can get it. Just relax into it. Whoa, there it goes. This can be done with both legs at the same time also. If you really want to take that approach, you can. The other way to perform this stretch is right here on the floor. You can do both legs at the same time instead of using the bench. I prefer the bench because it allows more focus onto one hip flexor over the other, although this does work extremely quickly because you're just relaxing. You're not trying to hold yourself up except with your arms. So your hips can just give up. Performing this psoas iliacus stretch will also begin to stretch your lower abdominals out. So if you have very weak lower abdominals, it could be a little bit of a problem. If you have very strong lower abdominals, like overly tight, like a kyphosis to the hips where they tuck under, that'll help to tip them back. Just one word, if you are dealing with that particular condition, be careful that your glutes don't lock up while you're trying to stretch out the hip flexors. And if they do indeed lock up, then immediately come out of the stretch and use one of the other stretches. Like the single leg is probably a wiser addition for that. Perhaps one of the most effective psoas and iliacus stretches I have ever seen involves laying down, actually. And when I first heard about this one, I was told to just read a book for an hour in this position. And what you're going to do is you're going to lay. You can replace the Bosu ball with pillows, by the way. But you're going to lay. Again, you can see just how exactly this fits the position of the previous iliacus stretches where you're trying to push that 90-degree angle. But it's not a 90-degree angle. This is just a position you can just lay in. It's very gentle. You can lay here for an hour, 45 minutes, sometimes even longer if you want to. I've laid in this position for literally hours. And if you are dealing with, for example, a lordotic curve to the hips, this stretch is excellent for loosening up the hip flexors. You don't need to really do much or cue much or even pay much attention. Just watch a movie, read a book, and let it open up. Take your time. There's no rush. One more thing I'd like to mention about this particular psoas and iliacus stretch is that if you're dealing with a lot of lower back issues, this is a great way to relieve them really fast. The hip flexors tend to pull down the lumbar spine pretty heavily, and they can cause some serious lower back issues. I mentioned the SI joint before. It'll definitely throw off the SI joint positioning. So keep this one in your arsenal. It's great for vacation.